it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? There we go. I had to fix the settings for you guys here. The microphone was not quite right, but we're all right here after a nice big weekend that we had. Rocking. What a weekend of combat. The LFA on Friday, the UFC on Saturday, a big football day yesterday. But man, I should have referenced the poop list. Aaron Rodgers does what Aaron Rodgers does, and that's lose again. What the hell? Unbelievable spot out there. That line just kept getting wider as the game went on. Bomb. That is Aaron Rodgers. I should have, such a weekend. I got ahead of myself. I got excited. We're flying. Betting heavy on that last game. What a disappointment that was. But hey, we got a 3-game slate today. Very, very interesting spot. We've got 2 Monday Night Football games, the Ravens and the Bucs, the Chargers and the Cardinals, and a single NHL game, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's how we're going to get paid. It's a single interesting spot. It's all about Amazon Prime taking on the NFL with the single hockey game, making way for the Frozen Frenzy tomorrow. That is it 14 games tomorrow? 14 NHL games. They start at 3 p.m. So we're going to do something real special tomorrow. Give some of those early looks in hockey to the members of the Sports Money channel. You support us. We want to give you guys the looks to cook the books even before the show gets rolling. So in the meantime, with tonight's show, got ourselves a little doozy here. We've got 3 sides, 1 in hockey, 1 in each of the NFL games, and 2 player prop parlays to get paid. Kind of a little fun spot with the NFL, player prop wise. And of course, we're going back to the touchdown prop parlay with an added little twist. So that's going to be fun to go out there. We've got, let's see, a plus 120, a plus 250, a plus 675. And I think it's good enough for us to get to work and get paid. This should be a fast show, just getting back in, getting the studio set back up. Things are a little all over the place. Trying to figure it out as we go, but you know the deal. We like to get that plane in the air. We'll tweak and hammer away on the wings while we are flying. You guys, hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so already. You guys did a terrific job on Saturday. We had damn near 100 thumbs up buttons. So if you haven't done so yet, close those comments, get out there, hit that thumbs up, and then pop back into the comments. Let them know you appreciate this kind of stuff here. Let them know we're out here doing this on the regular. It helps us continue to attract new eyeballs, which means new programming. The more we grow, the more we can provide to you guys. So just take a second now if you haven't done so already. Time to get to work. And you know the best chat in the business assembles right here. They're giving you their best work, so get that pen and paper ready. I know there's a bunch of trends in store tonight, and we've got intersecting zeros on both football games. What a rare treat to have intersecting zeros on both games. We got a great over trend in that Tampa Bay game as well, and some player props that I think only make a lot of sense to get paid. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up and put your best bets in the chat so we can get this thing going. Should be a short but sweet show. Plenty of time to get everybody moving and growing. Shout out to Redbeard. He's popping us off. He's gifting a sports money membership. I just so happen to have come back freshly stocked from the liquor store, but we're not quite done. We're not quite done. Shout out to my guy at Redbeard. He's popping us off. What the hell? Why not? Like Monday, like Friday. Cheers to you, Redbeard, my dude. Had a lot of that this weekend. Finish swallowing before you talk. That's what they teach children in kindergarten. All right, let's go. Let's see. Our guy is down in sunny Las Vegas, but he's still the first commenter in the chat, 99.3%. Actually, we're going to move him back up to 99.4%. First comment ratio here because he is on vacation. I saw him get excited. He's got his favorite. He's got a same game parlay out there. He says first time he's been able to do one of those. Check it out, but he does like points, and more points in that Ravens Buccaneers game. He's got the over 49.5 continuing his reign of terror on the unders, your bookie's worst nightmare. And it's Joe T giving us over 49.5 in that Ravens Bucks game. Real Jolly Roger says, how do we not drop the bag on the Ravens pimp? We'll talk about that one. Let's go. My guy Keith Each Every Stride says, touchdown parlay. Henry and Otten for that Baltimore Tampa at plus 486 says, good luck, Mike and everybody. Keith has been firing with his props lately. Make sure you continue to follow my guy Keith at Each Every Stride. Gerald Jones giving us his best bet. Chargers -2. Dana Delp's ready. Justin McKelvey says, sports money is money. There's my dude, Bo Jackson, our resident Toronto Blue Jays whisperer. Is he a Toronto Maple Leafs whisperer? We will have to see. We're only a couple weeks in. Dana Delp says, Roger's still on the shipboard. He is. Oh, it's my own fault for playing the Jets last night. The worst part is, the worst part is everything pointed to the Steelers. I don't know what to say. Is New York that bad? Is Russell Wilson that good? I don't know. We're going to talk about another Wilson tonight, though. Mike Dallas says he doesn't know he's live. No, I did. I just didn't have this mic wasn't all the way set up and ready to go. So we're good to go now. Redbeard says take the Mets off the shit list, Mike. Today's going to be their last day on the shit list. I told you I don't want to look at them the rest of the off season. So this doesn't mean they're off the shit list. It just means we're done looking at the Mets. Bo Jackson says Harbaugh brothers. Lots of great, interesting ways to parlay and combo. And it looks like our steam here, the sharp numbers are coming in for, All right. We got a touchdown prop. That has come in. Bo Jackson says, how about them Harbaugh brothers? Keith, I was just getting it adjusted, boys and girls. I had the camera. The camera has a little shit mic built into it, and it was trying to pick up, and it wouldn't let me get the big dog in there to eat. Shout out to Old E. Justin McKelvey says, F Aaron Rodgers. Keep him on the list till he retires. He's a permanent member of the shit list. Old E says, Rodgers interception props, undefeated. Guys, piece of shit. The Jets are a fade. Jay Main's in the house. David Wallace is here. Says Jets suck. Oldie says, don't tell me what to do with my thumbs. Let's go. Winner's Circle. Says, hey, yo. He's got the Ravens Chargers money line. Chris Sella's in the house. Let's go. Redbeard says Bucks money line only played today. Jay Main likes the Zay Flowers over 5.5 receiving yards. Subhuman Gaucho put some soccer plays out there. We'll get those migrated over to the community tab for you guys as well. So make sure you follow afternoon action tomorrow with our guy Subhuman Gaucho. The Sub Club is ready to roll. guys love the shit list, Let's go. Oldie says, y'all know Bucks are my team. Evans can struggle to have big games back to back. I think if the cannons fire, we need Bucky and Otten. I like Bucky Irvin. He was a first cut for a touchdown prop for me. Shout out to Mario Barrios. AOD's in the house. I'm scared of Lamar versus the NFC. Vitalis says Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers couldn't just execute. Not the old man's fault. It's the first game back, right? It's the first game back for those two guys. They were working. What are you going to do? Some big movement yesterday. We saw Amari Cooper get his first game in the Bills uni, and he looked pretty solid. They missed the first pass. They got things rolling after that. Boy, that's going to open up that offense and give a number of weapons for Josh Allen to work with. And I don't think it matters who's the Jets get. Maybe a little bit more time. We'll see them start to contend. The Patriots look dead. The Dolphins look dead. Although they're saying Tua is going to come back, so I don't know. But I do believe the Bills continue to have their way here in the AFC East. Not a bold take. Obviously, anybody with two eyeballs can see what's going on. Barry just took Henry for 2 touchdowns. I love the 2 touchdowns. I like even a sprinkle on the 2 touchdown props out there. Just fun. Just some fun. Oldie says, but if they give Mike 1v1, he can light up any defender in the league. I know he's not talking about me. He's talking about Mike Evans. J-Dub says, worst part is you thought Rodgers was going to win. Yeah, I did. There's no flush. Not flush in the house says, what's up, Mikey? Just a little heads up. Books have major liability on the Ravens' results from parlays this weekend. Tread lightly, says our guy, Nutbush Allen in the house. The chosen one likes the Cards. J Main 34 says, I like the Jets too, but all week I kept saying New York teams. Yeah, that's a real number right there. That's a real number. 4-31 in primetime games. Vitalis says, well, Baker having a record year for his stats. He will pass his throwing yards and touchdowns this year. That's why you don't throw the bag in on the Ravens. Shout out to my guy, Scott Blaster, author of the Skunt Bag play of the day. Likes the Bucks plus 3.5 and the Chargers money line. And he parlayed it at plus 265. Shout out to Nunya. Hassan Haskins anytime touchdown plus 1,000. Remember it. The Nunya remember that shit play of the day. Let's go, Nunya. Appreciate you guys rocking. Let's go. Dana Delp's got some props for us here to launch off on this thing. Connor, over 11.5 yards receiving. Henry, over 5.5. I love it. I love the alternate play. Everyone expects him to run. Why not catch some passes? Justin McKelvey's going to go a little Lamar interception tonight. You could probably parlay all 4 of these dudes to intercept the ball together and probably come up with some nice cash. But let's go. Let's get to work. Huh? It's Monday. It's a new week. It's time for new money. Last week, what did we do? Let's see. Let's see how we did on Friday. Barely can remember Friday at this point. The Lynx first half plus 1.5. The Yankees money line. Oregon under 61.5. BYU first half. I know BYU did not get there. I know Florida State did not get there. And I know that San Jose under didn't get there. I had a parlay put together at the good old casino that was as long as my arm. The only spot that didn't hit, and it was a big one, was the Winnipeg Jets under 5.5. But let's get to business. The business of getting to business. How are we going to get paid today? Got to figure out what's going to go on with this other side out there. I told you guys, I got to find a better way to visually display these graphics with these games here. But we're going to open it up. We'll talk about the lone hockey game. Then we'll jump into the 4 plays I have for you guys in the NFL. And then we'll get you guys out of here. Nice early show tonight. And it's only right with a short slate that we end early and get to put our feet up and rest and recharge after what was a very long weekend for yours truly here. This game opened up the Lightning as a plus 125 dog. Big money coming in on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I said Blue Jays earlier. I got in my own head. And yet here we go. This line is dropping. It's becoming more friendly to bet on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And if you look at these 2 goalies, first guy off the ice Not confirmed yet that I can see, but it looks like it's going to be Vasilevsky, which will be impressive because they will have run this guy nonstop since the start of the season. But their schedule dictated that. They had the ability with the Hurricane Milt shutting things down for that Tampa Bay spot. They certainly are a couple of games behind this this Toronto team. And Toronto's going to Stolars. Now, Vasilevsky not performing as he did last year. That's a trophy winner. 2 good first games. Saves 46 of 48 shots for 96% saving. Goes 1-1 his next 2, but allows 8 goals on 53 shots for an 85% save percentage. It's very tricky. It's very hard to make heads or tails. That guy's got a 5.08 goals against average and a 90.1% save percentage. Stolars found himself a 2-2 record. He's got a 1.79 goals against average, 93.7% save percentage. Allowed 2 or less goals in every game this season is impressive. I think I typoed the 2.39 out there. Tampa's coming off a loss. Obviously not a great spot for them last night to lose to the Ottawa Senators. Not where they want to be. Actually, I misspoke. It wasn't last night. It was Saturday. But, still an impressive start to their season, right? A little 3-1 record. Flip side with Toronto, they're literally a win-1, lose-1 type of team. Coming off a loss to those New York Rangers. Both teams played in action on Saturday. Neither played yesterday. They're going at it tonight. And I told you guys, I got an over trend to rock with on this one. I actually have, let me see where this other one is. Not quite an over, but the Toronto Maple Leafs. Why not? They're huge favorites. They're at home. Well, how about this? 0-10. 0-10. Conference opponent off a loss who had a power play goal against them in their previous meeting. 7 times the Toronto Maple Leafs have found themselves in a favorite in that role. All 7 of them they've lost on that way to that 0-10 record. And then we look at Vasilevsky, and I kind of hinted this thing here where he's going to go again tonight, or that's at least the expectation. This guy's got a hell of a career going against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He goes 2.5 goals against average, 92.1% save percentage, and he's a 15-10 record over 27 games. Unbelievable numbers for those guys. And that led me to say I'm going to take some plus money. Now, I did lock it in earlier. It was plus 124. It has moved now down to plus 120. In fact, the 120s are about to be gone. They're going to put the book on those. They're going to close the book. We got 115s and 114s out there now as I look across the betting markets. Despite the cash coming in on Toronto as the home team, there is reverse line movement. It supports a Tampa Bay Lightning play, mostly because of the opportunity to fade a team. Just think about it. Team's pissed they came off a loss. They have shown special teams success. Shout out to my guy Gonzo. I know we talked a little bit about the special teams factors and trying to build some models, and I think that's a very important indicator. It's a leading indicator of a team that can go out there. Man, we'll talk about this guy when it comes to the player props too, but Kucherov, get yourself some coochie. He likes to go out there and shoot the puck. This dude's averaging like 10 shots a game. It's unfucking believable. They put the puck on his stick and he just keeps going out there firing. He's got 7 goals and 2 assists over his last 9 points over the start of the season. So hell of an opportunity. That guy is a power play maker. Key lineup for everything. He's going to get the maximum ice time out there, and put a little pin in that one. Just put a little reminder pin that we talked about, a little Kucherov when it comes to this game here. But Tampa Bay, that's how we're going to open up our card. Looking to get paid. All about them nips. This is Mikey Money tailing this Lightning pick. Let's go. Let's go indeed. Nani says, don't even need to win the turnover battle if they can keep Murray from getting those clutch scrambles. All right. Bo Jackson says, yeah, Packers fuck me too. Cash in the money line. Got them. Yeah. Yep. They got me too. It was an afternoon long. Actually, that was in the early window. That was one of the lone spots that didn't cash for us, but let's go on. I know I gave out several plays to members and subscribers of the channel via the community tab yesterday. So keep an eye on that. Remember that if you haven't seen the community tab, It's pretty simple situation. In fact, since we have just the 3 games, I'll give you guys a little test drive, right? I know Ramon did this the other day. I thought it was a valuable use of time because a lot of people don't know where the hell it is. Real simple. And for what it's worth, you're going to want to follow Sports Money Wins at X on Twitter. Why? Because they say that the notifications are delayed with YouTube. So when we do post content out there on the community page, we're posting it immediately to the Sports Money Wins account. And if you have your notifications turned on with X, you don't have to wait for the YouTube notifications. The link will be right inside of there. And here it is. You can see it plain as day. It goes home. It goes videos. It goes shorts. It goes live. It goes playlist. And then there's the community tab. We click on that community tab. And there's a ton of action for you guys to get your paws all over. There was our afternoon action that we shared yesterday. The touchdown parlay didn't hit. The plus 225 Rams Commanders KC parlay did hit. The KC and under teaser did hit. We go into the early action. This was sent out. I believe this one was for members only. Yeah, members only there at the top. Touchdown parlay didn't cash. Eagles, Bengals, Jets. Fucking Jets did not cash. But the Eagles plus 3 and Bills minus 3.5 teaser cash. First half over for the Bills did not cash. The Eagles first half under did, and Seattle plus 3 did as well. So real simple to find it. Again, home, video, shorts, live, playlist. There's community tab. Community tab. Second one from the end. And that's all you need to know about getting them community plays. When you hear us talking about them, it's super easy to follow. And as I mentioned, starts off with at Sports Money Wins on X. Sports Money Wins on X to get you guys that action to get paid. Let's talk about getting paid in the NFL tonight here. We've got 2 games on deck. I'm going to say these are 2 games. We're going to see a yin to a yang. We're going to see an opposite situation in these 2 games here. One game, we've got high-flying expectation with points. The other game, we've got a banged-up MASH unit just trying to get the hell out of there. And we're going to start with the expectation of points. Joe T gave us the over 49.5. It's now moved to 50s and 50.5, so shop around in that Ravens game. Bucks open up as 5-point dogs. They've now moved to plus 4. We have 67% of the bets and 65% of the cash on the Ravens. And yet they're making it more attractive to bet the Ravens. There's your first red flag. There's your first red flag. What's up, Tarek B in the house? Let's go. Says, what's up, Big Mike? Over game 1 and under game 2. Tease them if needed. Absolutely love it, my guy. It's not a collared shirt. It's a fucking, I don't know what you call it. It's a windbreaker. It's pullover. It's pullover, but I like it. I like commenting on my attire. Let's go. Nutbush says, Mike M. Take it for what it's worth. Baker rush props this morning, 14.5. Now 11.5. The number 14.5 getting crushed by Baker. So why books drop at 3 and 4 hours is telling. That is what we want to be looking at there. That is a great call from our guy, Nutblush. Nutblush. Telling for a Baker injury plus 4,000 in the Mike Money Sportsbook. If I had a sportsbook, I'd offer you guys that. I'd offer you guys those types of problems or those types of props. Why the hell not? All right, so we got reverse line movement. We've got a total that's on the climb. It's got 80% of the bets and 91% of the cash on the over. And we've got both teams coming into Raymond James Stadium at 4-2. And look, now we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We were first to the party. When everybody else shows up to the party, it's time to start finding your exit clause in that thing. What's your strategy to get the hell out of there? Because it's going to get sloppy. People are going to get their cameras out. Next thing you know, you're fucking riding somebody down the stairs like a fucking sled in the middle of winter, and you break your thumb when you fall at the bottom of the door. That might have happened. In fact, that did happen. But we got them Ravens at a nice 4-game win streak. Of course, just taking care of the Commanders, but a push, depending on the number you got. It was 30-23 finish. Obviously, the Commanders. Big win last night. The biggest public spot last night was the Commanders. And Jaden Daniels is now listed as week to week, dealing with a little banged up ness in that spot out there. And the Ravens beat the Cincinnati Bengals 41-38. So there's no disrespect. But when I hear that they need this, Well, I think they got that game in hand. They also took care of Buffalo. They handled Dallas, but they're not really winning by margin. It's the kind of the thing that you look at this Ravens team that kind of makes you want to go, what the hell's going on? They should be out there dominating. It seems like they're still not entirely using King Henry the way they should. It does relieve the pressure and the results from Ravens and Lamar Jackson having to run. Now, a team that has been covering, I was surprised. We're doing a little side player prop research last night. The number one NFL quarterback in passing touchdowns, Baker Mayfield. Who the fuck knew that? Who saw that coming? Then on the flip side, who are the top two of three targets in the NFL touchdown category? Well, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Expectation of points, 3 straight overs for those Bucks, 2 straight overs for those Ravens. What do we have going on here? Well, across the board, this one's a tricky spot because there's some injuries kind of going across the dynamic there, but there's really not enough. The one injury that stood out to me the most when you look at these two teams, that was Mike Evans. A little gimpy, he's a little banged up. It's enough for me to have a little pause for concern, but look, Godwin's still the number one guy in targets out there. Bucky Irving's found himself, as you guys talked about, he's found himself to become productive. Flip side of things, 2 great receiving options for Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. I was on Zay Flowers to get a touchdown the other week. He did not. I like to run him back the following week if that is the case, but I think that the expectation of a ground running attack here is not what we're going to see in this game. I think they're going to take the leash off the dogs and let them hunt, and they're going to hunt through the air in this game in my expectation. Now, I mentioned it. Are you late to the party? 22-1 versus the NFC opponents. I had the benefit of a ride home from Buffalo today, and so I did the unfortunate move of putting on some other sports shows. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. There's no way. They might as well write this game off. Baltimore's going to crush Tampa. There's no way around it. But when you start looking at some of these numbers and you start looking at some of these trends, I told you guys, I got these intersecting zero opportunities. Let's have it. Makes a ton of sense to me, this first one. It's Tampa Bay after a sloppy discipline game in a dog roll. What's a sloppy discipline game? 25 or more penalty yards. And they're now in a dog roll. 7-0. 7-0 going out there in the dog spot, covering the spread by over 3.5 points a clip. And how about the other side? How about them Baltimore Ravens? They're in an 0-9 spot when they're greater than a minus 3-point favorite after a win of 6 or more points and 170 or more yards. So they win by margin, or they win by a touchdown, I guess is the better way to look at that. And they had success through the air. Now they're a big favorite. That to me says that number gets bloated. That's the exact spot that we want to buy high. That is the buy high definition. Winning by a touchdown and having over 170 or more yards for that Baltimore Ravens team puts them in an 0-9 spot. And yeah, I tipped the hand. I let you guys know I think this game does go through the air. I do think this is an offensive explosion. And I do like Tampa at plus 4.5. Yeah. Now, you know what I like to do? We got 2 Tampa Bay teams playing tonight. Can we have a Tampa parlay? So we'll probably get to that. Haven't gotten there just yet, but that's a spot I wanted to get involved with. And I'm going to give this to you guys here. I'm going to share. I guess it's going to be a little out of sequence, but since we're talking about this Tampa game, I've got Baker in the one. There's a little fun player prop for me here. I found it to be a plus 250, and I thought, holy shit, we got a Baker Mayfield opportunity for over 257.5 passing yards. And that's right in the means of this guy's ability to go out there and explode. As I mentioned, this is that game where I do expect to see things take place. If you look at why, ultimately, we see that the running game, Rashid White kind of struggled. Bucky Irving's come along, but I mentioned those targets, the receiver core, the options. If Baltimore does go out there and get ahead in this game, Baker has to throw this ball through the air. I know Evans, kind of gimpy, as I mentioned, dealt with some sitting out of practice here, but Chris Godwin's just a fast underneath spot for this guy. He runs a lot of slants that finds a way to get it done. And they are executing the hot hand when it comes to catching that ball in the air like no other. You guys love the tight ends. I think it's a good look for the tight end spot out there because of how this defense lines up for Baltimore. And look, if you're playing against Baltimore, this is why I think this has to be a passing game. why would you not want to use your best weapons out there in offense that is passing and stretching the field? Because you've got Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. You know they're going to run, right? There's no way they're not going to go run with Lamar. But how about this? Lamar's got 300 or more passing yards in back-to-back weeks. He's the best guy in fantasy football out there. And now you got 1 and 2. This is the fireworks explosion for these two games here. I do expect this game to have a lot of offense situated to it. I think if one team scores, the other team goes right back down the field, answers offensively. We see a fast pace between these two teams. And, if you look at the Ravens, the challenge, 59 rushing yards per game allowed is a spot where you want to keep you don't want to go to the ground and just waste downs. You want to get this chain moving. Lots of dink and dunks, lots of opportunities for pass completions and attempts. Now, if Baker Mayfield gets hurt, we be fucked for sure. But on the other side of things here, I'll start with this and then we'll jump into this Arizona game. How did I arrive to the Connor spot? I don't see this as a game where there's a lot of passing. Start with Arizona. Arizona coming off that game, tough spot for him out there against, one of the league's best, at least defensively. And, I think that was an issue that they're going to find a way to rebound. We'll talk about those numbers here momentarily. But Herbert, I don't know. You know what happened with this Chargers team is they kind of changed gears. They went to the Harbaugh system. They want to punch you in the mouth. They want to run the clock. They want to take advantage of those opportunities, keep the ball out of your hands. And they got rid of everybody last year. You look at the squad across the board. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Gerald Everett. They're saying, hey, we don't want to be a passing team anymore. We want to be that run and ground the clock out type of team out there. They're only attempting 25.4 passes a game. That's dead last in the NFL when it comes to how this game gets ground out there. So why would I look to go passing on the flip side of things here? Marvin Harrison Jr., he's been a healthy scratch, not a healthy scratch, but he's been a scratch from practice. That's going to impact the timing. It's been a tumultuous affair for Harrison out there since he started the first game. No looks, no attempts. What's Kyler Murray come back and say? It's not my job to get the ball to him. Well, sure it is, dude. You're the quarterback. Nonetheless, some injuries after that. And on the flip side, everybody loves a Dobbins play. Why not? Dobbins definitely a guy to fire in this game. But I think the 1-2 match here in that 1-2 punch is getting a shot with Connor. This guy runs downhill. He's like a King Henry Jr. when it comes to going out there and exploding. And, frankly, if you look at these two teams and their overall performance, why not see this thing on the ground out there? James Conner, crushes guys at the line, certainly finds a way. He's got back-to-back games with 86 and 104 rushing yards. I told you, he would have gotten it again last week, but he had an injury. So is it a little bit of am I kind of pushing the rock uphill? Because if he gets injured, we're screwed again? Sure. But not going to play the what-if games in those spots out there. His number's going up. His rushing yards started at 57.5. So this thing is ballooning. So much like our guy Nutflesh told us, the rushing prop is dropping for Baker Mayfield. It is getting sharp action. And I'm going to take a little Connor over 62.5 rushing yards. That's a little plus 250. That's not how we're going to necessarily play the game, but I think this is an opportunity. I love Connor touchdown. I'm not mad at anybody that wants to get involved with that one. He's going to get the ball. You got to keep it out of his hands. Yeah, and Sella says Harbaugh's got no faith in Herbert. Herbert's like one of the biggest frauds to Carson Wentz. He had all those weapons. They couldn't stay healthy. He was throwing bad balls to him. He's getting interceptions. Let's not forget Harbaugh's got like this minor, angioplasty thing going on there. He's been dealing with some health issues out there, looking at to potentially get another stint put in, but he's not going to be out on the field, so that shouldn't affect him. But I look overall at the team, and I think, man, that last game was great money for us because we were on the other side. Fuck them Chargers, man. Not that I want to be involved with when it comes to these Chargers, but I told you I got some opportunities here. Chargers, Denver. Chargers win 23-16. But if you remember, it was that second half letdown that got our teaser in play. We had the 9 points on the teaser. They came back and got that touchdown to get us within the number. The Cardinals, back-to-back road games. And they lose 34-13 to Green Bay. Now, we saw Green Bay's offense struggle. But Green Bay's defense, something to be said. One of the number one defenses, at least the secondary, in creating turnovers. Difficult spot for Kyler Murray. Because, yeah, he likes to scramble, and then he likes to chuck it around, but a couple interceptions, and he's in a bad spot. I told you we got some intersecting zeros, so let's get to the intersecting zeros and talk about how we're going to play this game. We're going to look at this total. We're going to factor in what I expect to be that ground and pound, both teams trying not to put the ball in the air, make stupid mistakes. What does Arizona do after they don't cover by 14 or more points? That's a big number, 14 or more. Well, they go back to how do you win games? You play defense. They're 12-0-2 to the under after they don't cover by 14 or more points the previous game. And where's that intersect? The Chargers. Non-divisional games where they're not a huge favorite, so 12.5 or less, versus teams that have less than 13 days rest. Not basically coming off a bye, getting ready to practice, is a 9-0 to the under spot for them Chargers. We got to have one of them. I told you guys, I thought this was scripted game night, yin and yang out there. This one's going to keep this ball on the ground. It's going to be a slower paced game. I don't know that I can get there with both dogs. So we got the 4.5 with Tampa. Cardinals are 13-0 as a dog. Non-neutral site games when they ran for less than 105 yards the previous game. Couple that with the under. What's that tell you? They play defense. They try to chew the clock up, which led me to the Connor side of things. And they go out there and they cover spreads. Now, this number's tight. It's not a lot of spread in there to cover. It's 1 point. So I would be inclined to think about the money line. Let's talk about the splits because I realized I did not give you guys that information. So let's get this pulled up. Let's talk a little bit about this one here. Chargers opened as 1 point dogs. They're now 1 point favorites. We got 58% of the bets and 60% of the cash on the Chargers. 70% of the cash and 70% of the bets and 71% of the cash on the over. And what do we have? Reverse line movement. I love getting involved when I've got intersecting zeros and reverse line movement in the favor of the spot that I want to play anyways. Love them spots out there, but you couldn't be mad at anybody that wants to get involved in the Cardinals. Again, a 6-0 spread number coming off a 21 point or greater loss. Couples back with that not covering by 14 points or more. They go out there and they want to keep the ball out of the other team's hands. That's the way I see this game playing. Again, I mentioned the injuries out there with these two teams as well. You look across the board here, banged up galore. I think it's a tricky spot for both these teams. I mean, J.K. Dobbins seems like the obvious play for me, overall. Over 130 yards and a touchdown in each of the first two games that he got going with out there. Arizona's defense allows 153 rushing yards per game, which again keeps it to the tick spot that our guy Razor Sharp Picks likes to talk about. That's fourth most, by the way, in the entire NFL. So I don't think these teams want to get creative and try throwing the ball. I think they want to go into their game scripts and try to figure out a way to keep it on the ground. And I got one last spot for you guys here. I'll toss this up on the screen. Let's see. So I gave you guys this one, right? Gave you that one. We got the Baker Mayfield over 257.5. He's number one in passing with those weapons. We got Connor on the ground. You fight a rock fight with a rock fight. Keep that ball moving. How about this one here? It's the touchdown prop. Here's the touchdown prop with a caveat. I'll put myself on the chopping block with this one. I'm really stretching my neck out there. Godwin, I just talked about it. The number one targets received out there from Baker Mayfield and the number one passing touchdown offense on the game with a game I expect to be flying through the air. A total at 50. Joe T gave us the over team total or the over 49.5 for the fuck your underplay of the day. Hell yeah, I want some Godwin. Add into the fact that Godwin has a counterpart that's gimpy in Mike Evans. Yep. Godwin touchdown. Dobbins. Well, I just mentioned the aforementioned fourth number rushing yards allowed, over 150 for Dobbins. He's gotten 2 in his last 2 starts. Absolutely a spot for him on the ground. And who's that guy at the end? It's the guy we just talked about in Kucherov to start that Tampa game off. Guy's got 10 shots, coming off a game with 10 shots. He's averaging double-digit shots every game this season. Yeah, I'm going to take him to get 4+. This number's over 4.5 at a little plus 110 spot. But if we take that down from the hook and he just needs 4+ shots, those probably the chalkiest plays on the board. No, they're not the chalkiest plays on the board. I'll tell you that. The chalkiest play for touchdowns in this Ravens game. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Mike Evans is one of the leaders. Who else do we have out there? Derrick Henry, minus 200. There's your chalk, Derrick Henry. So we're going to get to Godwin. We're going to go to Dobbins. We're going to take Kucherov at 4 or more shots for a plus 675 spot. So I'll get these back on the screen for you guys because it's a little different, right? We got a couple different player props in play. It's only 3 games, but we try to figure out a way to make these things some good plus money spots where the numbers make sense. A couple different ways to root for this game here. Godwin, Dobbins, Kucherov, 4 more shots plus 675. Shake and bake. Baker Mayfield over 257.5 passing yards. James Conner, over 62.5 rushing yards of plus 250. We're going to go to the under 44.5 in the Arizona game. We're going to take Tampa plus 4.5. And we're going to take the Lightning. Nice little even money spot out there at plus 120. What say you guys? Peter Gracia says, think the Ravens game isn't over. Yeah, so, teasers that I was looking at playing out there too were Tampa in the over. And, you get Tampa at 10.5 and you get the over at 44. And then Arizona in the under. Arizona goes up to 7.5. So we're past those key numbers in 2 spots. And then we take that game down. We pick it up to a 50, expecting it's not going to get to 44. Chris Ellis is Baker over 1.5 touchdowns. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the direction for that to fall in line with what I'm expecting for this game to be a passing affair. Peter Gracia does think the Chargers game is an over, though. I don't think when you're coming in with a gimpy team with that short rest, why would you try to do anything other than just exploit their biggest weakness, and that is their running defense? And if that's going to be the case, I mean, if Dobbins goes out there and breaks their back on the first play with an 80-yard touchdown gain, yeah, well, we're in trouble on that under because that's just going to force them like that Bills-Ravens game. When we saw King Henry comes right off the game, 80-yard rushing touchdown, what do? Well, you can't let him do that again. So now that opens up other players on the field because you got to double team him at the line, create traffic in the box. Nobody likes a busy box. Nunya says Michigan fans know, and I know Mike got nightmares of Haskins. Cliff Yank says, you think Devontae's regretting going to the Jets? LOL. No, I don't think so. He wasn't happy in Vegas. He seems like an asshole. He's like one of those guys that's not happy wherever he is. You guys see the Stephen Diggs comments out there where he's like, I'll never take the high road. I've always got something to say. Devontae Adams might be one of those guys too. I'm not entirely sure. Nanya says, Harbaugh got him ready to go, and this is the night. I'll tell you another guy that I was looking at here, given that Marvin Harrison Jr. situation, with the he's back, but is he gonna be able to sustain the full game? I don't know. One bad hit and he's back out of there. But look for some Michael Wilson time tonight. I think that's another guy that can go out there and have a statement. He got a touchdown last game, and I think he's a guy that they look at. He's been consistently on the field, a young buck that Kyler Murray has been able to develop some chemistry with. And, he's got Marvin Harrison that he's trying to work up in the ranks, but why not? If you're going to go cover the number 1 guy, well, that means you dish it off to the number 2. And that is Wilson. So look for Wilson to have a night tonight. KB's in the house. This is over 1.5 first period Tampa NHL game. Teams come out hot versus each other. Parlay or over 2. I don't disagree, but, we see that Vasilevsky has a sub 2.5 goals against average out there. Maybe it's early score and they shut him down. I do like the over in that game, though. I do think that has over written all over it. That's going to do it, you guys. That's how we get her done here tonight. 3 games. Hey, we still spent 47 minutes together. Shout out to my guy, Razor Sharp Picks. I see him out there. Says, shout out to everyone. Says, what's up, fellas? Let's go, man. Julian Cesario's here. He says, smash the like button. Joseph Alvarado's in the house. Let's go. Andrew, hashtag the athletic connector. Topics. Looks at Dobbins and Henry. Touchdown play. I can get down with that. I can certainly get down with that. But you guys know the deal. You saw my play. You saw how I want to attack this card here tonight. Some big swings, some fun opportunities out there. But staying core to our discipline here. I like Tampa. Everybody knows 23-1. 23-1 against the NFC. There's no way they're going to win. Okay. Now look, if you're arguing why is the line so low, keep in mind that the home team generally is factored in as a. Now you guys can argue that, okay, that's not necessarily the case anymore, but I think the bookmakers still use that -3. The home team should be a -3 if they're home, saying that both teams are equal. So if you're giving them 4.5, that means the Ravens are a 7.5 point better team than Tampa Bay. Now the hook's factored in there. That should concern you. We saw that what happened with the Ravens team. They just don't cover the big numbers. They're just not finding a way to get on top of those big numbers. And could they go out there and explode tonight? Well, they've won 4 in a row, so they should. But I think Baker's got a couple tricks up his sleeve to keep in the game. At least keep it within the field goal finish. Maybe they're tied. Maybe it goes into overtime and somebody kicks a field goal to win the game. But I like that opportunity for that scoring. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll be back here tomorrow talking about who was right, who was wrong, who made cash, who busted their parlays, and all that other fun stuff that goes along with it. So I appreciate all you guys hanging out here tonight, man. I know, short card, we'll get right to the nitty gritty, and then we'll get you guys out of here as I promised. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, we got a big day tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. So we got to pace ourselves. Right? We got biggest hockey card we've had in over 6 months. We've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of them. I'm not going to count them all. But I'm going to tell you this. The first game starts at, I don't know why I said 3. Maybe I was listening to Ramon this morning and I forgot he's West Coast. But nonetheless, we're going to start off and we're going to have a shit ton of games going throughout the slate. So stay tuned for that. Of course, we've got the NBA regular season pops off tomorrow. Nasty Nate's going to be in business. He's ready to go. Says Knicks and Celtics. I know what he's going to do. Celtics are going to smash. Celtics should smash, in fact. And there's our guy, Razor Sharp Picks. The Thursday night football stream is up and ready. Is it Thursday yet? Man, this will be the first week without a Dana White Contender Series Tuesday. So you guys better get ready. You better be ready to attack. Thursday is going to be a ton of fun. We're going to have even more action and play with the layered in NBA. What do we got for that Thursday night game? The Vikings and the Rams. The Vikings and the Rams are going to go battle head-to-head out there. It should be a lot of fun to see that game as well. Until then, until tomorrow, until the morning steam with Ramon Scott at 9 a.m. on behalf of all of Sports Money Network, thank you guys for rocking with us. Good luck with your bets. Enjoy your Monday night. We'll see you guys back here at 6 p.m. tomorrow for a full breakdown. Huge NHL card, the NBA, college football, and more. Good luck tonight, everybody. We'll